All right, so you're getting ready to move down to Florida, so you get to enjoy the fabulous weather, or maybe not so fabulous weather that we have down here. But it will be a bit different, especially if you live up north, and it's quite the change during the fall and winter months. So before you make that big move to Florida, let's talk about the 4 things that you must know before moving to Florida weather. So stick around. Everyone, I'm Stephanie Bueno with the Whittemore Group at LPT Realty here in the Destin-Fort Walton Beach area. If this is your first time to our channel, thank you so much for checking us out. We want to make sure that we give you all the information that we possibly can. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap on that bell just so you're notified every time we do new videos so you don't miss out on the information that we give you. We have a lot of people that reach out to us because they're looking for the information that they need about this area, or they're getting ready to relocate here or invest in property here, or just have general questions and want to have conversation, which we don't mind that at all. So if you are looking for info about this area, or if you're getting ready to move here, feel free to reach out to us here at the Whittemore Group. You can give us a phone call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or comment on this video, and we will definitely be happy to help you out. All right, so 4 things you must know before moving to Florida weather. Well, number 1, jackets and knit hats and maybe scarves and gloves may still be a necessity. It does still get a little chilly in the fall and winter months, but not completely freezing where everything is just frozen and it snows. We might get a little frost here and there. However, we don't need to stock up on those big bulky coats with the hoods with fur around it, unless you're just really sensitive to the cold. But it wouldn't necessarily need to be in your wardrobe here in Florida, but we do have chillier mornings. And when I say chillier mornings, and like right now it's October, it can be down to the 38. It was 38 this morning, and it can go into the 40s and still be in the 60s and 70s in the afternoon. In November, December timeframe during the holidays, it can still be a little cold. Sometimes it could be in the 30s, but then there are times where we're still in the 70s, even on Christmas Day. So that's what's beautiful about the Sunshine State. We really do have warm weather all year round, with the exception of some of our cold fronts that come on through. But definitely it's not like what it would be up north. Again, we don't have the snowstorms down here, which really leads me to number 2 is to make sure you keep umbrellas on hand, because we do have a lot of rain here in Florida. Sometimes it's expected, sometimes it's not. Whether you keep an eye on the Weather Channel or not, it could say that, there's maybe 7% chance of rain, and the next thing you know, it's thunderstorming, or what it seems like thunderstorming outside. Not to be dramatic, but it's really just most of the times passing through. It'll be, a little stubborn rain cloud kind of making its way, making its rounds around the area. Some people are not prepared for that, so they could just, run into a grocery store just to grab a few things, and they come out and all of a sudden it's just pouring raining, and they're not prepared for that. They don't have a jacket or a hood or an umbrella because again, it was sunshine when they first went in. So that's a little tricky out here. It's happened to me before where I wasn't expecting the rain. And then there's times where you watch the news and it's like, oh, it's 50% chance, 60% chance of rain during maybe 12 and 2 o'clock, and 12 and 2 o'clock comes around and not a drop of rain. But then again, you might see a little something later on in the afternoon and you weren't expecting it then either. So there's the rainy weather. Rainy season can get a little tricky. Even during hurricane season, we might have, we have our watches where we need to keep an eye on which direction the hurricanes may go. But even if we don't take the direct hit, there's, a big chance that we'll get a lot of rain. So again, if you need to still be out and about during that time, just again, keep umbrellas on hand, keep a light jacket. That there's a lot of people out here in Florida that really don't care, and they are just out in the rain. They don't care if they get wet, because you eventually dry off. But there's a lot of women, especially myself and my hair. I don't want to get that wet all the time and come home looking like a hot mess because I got rained on in the morning. So I spend the day looking a mess because I wasn't prepared for rainy weather. But it comes and goes. Again, if you have plans to spend a day out and about, but there's maybe 50% chance rain, don't let that ruin your plans, because if it does rain, it's most likely just passing through, and then you can just carry on about with your plans, whatever you might be trying to do outdoors. So don't even worry about it. Again, rain is going to come and go here in Florida. And number 3, let's talk about that summer heat and the humidity that comes along with it. Of course, we do have lots of sunshine that brings lots of those UV rays on us that we enjoy at the beach so much. However, there are times where it might not feel breezy enough at the beach and you're just sitting there just sweating and sweating and sweating, to where, of course, that's going to make you even more so want to go out into the water and have a great time. But even when the temperature is like 85 degrees, 90 degrees, with the humidity that we have here in Florida, that can make it feel like it's 100 degrees. That's what the heat index would be. Real-time feel would be in the hundreds, 102, 103, when the actual temperature is like 90, 95 even. Yes, we do get pretty hot out here in Florida. But again, there's a lot of people that's not really familiar of how the humidity may affect them. Some people don't handle it very well. They may fall a little ill. I've seen it happen before. But even when I was on the West Coast up in Seattle, Washington, even their 85 degree weather during the time that I just happened to be there when they had that heat wave, 85 degrees, and it still felt nowhere near as how 85 degrees would feel in Florida. So it's a different kind of heat, you know what I'm saying? But yes, be prepared for the humidity. That makes the temperature feel so much more warmer than what it actually is. You could run out to the mailbox and come back just dripping in sweat, or you could just take out the garbage and you're just coming back feeling like you just went for a run. But it gets pretty hot and sticky out here in Florida, so just make sure you're prepared for that. There's a lot of people that can't handle the heat due to even health conditions, that your body just don't really tolerate the heat as much. So there's a lot of elderly people that I know that cannot handle the extreme heat and just have to have like extra window units in their rooms, even though their AC is working fine. Just need that extra air circulating, or fans in the room, even with the AC running. So of course, that's what's our utility bills are going to be much higher too, because we do like to run our AC throughout the day and night. So a lot of people ask about the transition between summer and winter. It's a very slow transition. However, you just need to make sure that so here in Florida, the transition from the summer into the fall and winter is a very slow transition. In October especially, it's probably my favorite month of the year, because the weather just feels like it's really, really just perfect. And then my favorite month would be March, because you're kind of right there in the middle between being too cold, or maybe it might be a little chilly too, but still, have great days where you can be outside and not worry about being too cold or too hot. Just right around March, April, and then again, October, November timeframe. And number 4, one of the big things you need to know about Florida weather is pollen season. So just make sure you stock up on those antihistamines if you do have an issue with allergies. Grass pollen season extends from April to October. Springtime in Florida is also known as tree pollen season. That can begin as late as December and run through May. So you're talking about 5 or 6 months of pollen season. Of course, there's a lot of people that's sensitive to that. So just the slightest bit of pollen should just have their nose running, sneezing, eyes watering, have to stock up on the meds. And there's also the issue with our vehicles being covered in this nice yellow tint. So if you have a black vehicle, especially, the pollen will definitely show up even more on that. So there's people that just feel like they just need to wash their cars every day because of the pollen. It just gets so bad. But it's great for the Florida trees, because that's like a strong springtime for them to me. But there are trees.
That's all we got for today. To learn more about Destin-Fort, Walton Beach, Florida, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and please leave us a review. Also, make sure you check them out and subscribe to their YouTube channel, Living in Destin-Fort, Walton Beach, Florida. And make sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram. If you are thinking about moving, relocating, or investing in Destin-Fort, Walton Beach, or anywhere between Pensacola and Panama City Beach, make sure to give them a call, send them a text or email, because they have your back when moving to the Emerald Coast of Florida.
Have the issues with pollen, because some people really just can't handle that. It's a bit too much, even with the medications they may have. Some people just don't want to have that way of life and have to stay on meds throughout 5 or 6 months of the year. Might not be that fun for them to have to do that. So again, if you're okay with the pollen, just make sure you have your antihistamines to help you through those allergy issues. Well, that's all I have as far as some of the things that you need to know before you move to the Florida weather. If you have any questions or want to know more about anything else here in Florida or the Walton Beach or Destin area, just leave us a comment below. Don't forget to like and share this video with anyone you know that might want to know about the weather here in Florida. Again, I'm Stephanie Bueno with the Whittemore Group at LPT Realty. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.